Hey everybody, Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve, man. This is your boy Bruce Goes here, and we're gonna talk a little bit about one of my favorite subjects here, man. That's fitness, man. That's staying healthy. That's what we all have to do. It's the end of the year. We're gonna, a lot of people make New Year's resolutions, man. I don't do any of that baloney. But anyway, man, let me shout out everybody that came in here to say hello here, man. I got Mr. Pads, the first one in the room, man. Don't be there, beat me there. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Mr. Pads, the main one. My brother Duke from the fourth quarter. We're going to be going on tonight. So anybody that hasn't subbed to the fourth quarter, make sure you do that now or you get out of here, man. Almond Brown, sweet. Thanks for coming in here, man. Just that name makes me hungry, man. Almond Brown. All right, man. I got we're just having Yahweh. Salute to you, my brother. So good to see you here, man. Happy New Year to you. Macadocious Mac of the South, man. Great to see you in here. But anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about BMR, basal metabolic rate, and that's the amount of calories your body expends just in a resting position. And everybody has a different we call it a base metabolic rate, basal. It's on the invented by somebody named Basal. Anyway, the basal metabolic rate, that's our rate that we use when we're doing nothing. I mean, and everybody has different metabolisms. Everybody oxidizes foods differently. We're going to talk a little bit about that because you ever go to the gym and you're working your ass off, you're dieting, and then you got this dude on the next bench. I mean, this guy can eat a pancake and gain a pound. I mean, it just gets you kind of pissed off. But man, it's all relative in this fitness industry that we're in because God didn't create every man equal. Only Sam Colt did that. But we have to be mindful of that because we all have different metabolisms. We all have different needs for our bodies, and I'm going to do a little bit of a power presentation. Mr. Shelton, my brother, salute to you, man. Good to see you in here, man. This is something for we got to pay attention to this if we want to get ourselves in optimal shape, man. Because like I'm saying, everybody has a different body type. We have different calorie requirements, and we have different activity rates. I'm gonna do this power presentation. I'm stealing this from my brother Big Duke over here, man. This is what we do in the this is our power presentations that we do here, man. I had to make a quick adjustment there, and we're gonna stick this up on the screen. I'm gonna see if this works out here like I want it to do. But anyway, man, I was trained in as a fitness professional by a guy named Al Thurston. He passed away a few years ago, man. Al Thurston, he was the chairman of the North American Bodybuilding Federation. I mean, and a very powerful man in the fitness industry, man. This guy was Mr. Rhode Island several times. He just kind of he introduced natural bodybuilding, man. Because before that it was a drug-induced sport. Everybody was, they looked at a bodybuilder and they kind of shook their heads and, man, this cat's on steroids. What the hell are we gonna? Well, what are we going to admire this guy for? I mean, and Al Thurston, man, he started the Natural Bodybuilding Federation. They call the North American Bodybuilding Federation, and he had some champions up there. He had some guys you swear they were on the juice, but they weren't, man. Al was a stickler for that. Al would. He didn't look down on you if you were enhancing your body with something else, but he just kind of tried to show you the better way, and that way was through nutrition. We all train, we all train as hard as we can, but Al's thing was get your diet on key because you can keep yourself in an anabolic state 24 hours a day, man. You eat properly, you drink a lot of water. But anyway, this is a little review of it's a little thing that Al gave this questionnaire when he certified me as a nutritional technician, and man, this was really interesting, and I never really thought much about it until recently. I go on fourth quarter, and my co-host Big Duke, man, I love that man. He's the real deal. He's 100% natural. He's a monster, bro. I mean, Big Duke is a backboard shattering He'll run through that offensive line. Big Duke's the real deal. But anyway, man, him and I, we talk a lot about some of the some of the things about nutrition, because it's not just you don't just throw yourself a slab of meat, go in the gym, drink plenty of water. Yeah, protein shakes. We all visualize that. We've all been through that, and that's the most important thing in training is getting your nutrition straightened out. So this is something I'm gonna shoot this up for you. This is the power presentation I stole from my brother Big Duke, and I didn't steal it from him, actually. We don't steal anything from the internet. Nothing's original. We're all copying other creators. I'm not going to say copying. We're enhancing them. We're using them, to help us get through with this presentation. Anyway, I wanted to do this for a little bit. The last day of the year. My wife's birthday today too. I want to shout out my wife, man. She just got home, man. My birthday was on the 29th. Hers is on the 31st. Talk about a hectic week, man. We got Christmas. We've got each other's birthdays. We've got New Year's Eve. Damn, I couldn't think of a better week than that, man. But anyway, let's see how this comes out here. This is a little review, a little question and answer thing. This is dedicated to my brother Al Thurston, man. Al was he ran the North American Bodybuilding Federation out of a gym in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, man. He put on personal training certification weekends. He was a chairman of he must have put on hundreds of bodybuilding shows up and down the East Coast. It was a great thing. The natural bodybuilding lost a lot when Al Thurston passed away. And this is for Al, and when this is for all of us. Let's listen to Al. Let's hear something that he has to say here. And I might stop it in the middle so we can catch up. But if you have a pad and a pencil, man, grab that, because there's a little test here where you just have to, it's nothing you have to think about. It's just a quick, rapid answer thing. And if you can take that, man, that might that might help us get our nutritional program into order. Find out what our body types are, the foods we metabolize better, and the way we can structure our diets. We go around the 40% protein, 40% carbohydrates, 30% protein and 30% fats. That's not in the amount. That's in the calories. But anyway, man, let's listen to this. Then we can talk about it. Okay, man?
The questionnaires and shots used in this video. Physical activity readiness. Do you have high cholesterol? Do you have chest pains? Do you have dizzy spells? Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have joint problems? Do you smoke? Are you pregnant? Are you diabetic? Do you have a family history of heart disease? If you have answered yes to one or more of the previous questions, consult your physician before increasing your physical activity. Caloric requirement for weight maintenance. Your BMR is equal to your weight in pounds times 0.45 times 24 calories per day.
Now that might sound a little difficult, but it's really not. We're gonna see if we can get that again here.
0.45 times 24 calories per day.
See, it's pretty simple, man. You weigh yourself. If let's say you weigh 160 pounds, and you multiply that times 0.45, you come out with a number, and then you multiply that 24 calories times 24 calories, and that'll give you a number. I just got a number of 1728 here when I did it. It's kind of simple. It might seem complicated, but give it a shot.
Activity requirements. If you are involved in heavy activity during the course of a day, you would take your BMR and multiply it by 50%. If you are involved in moderate activity, you take your BMR and multiply it by 40%. If your daily activities are considered light, you would take your BMR and multiply it by 30%. What oxidative type am I? For the following questions, answer F for frequent or always, S for sometimes, R for rarely or never.
Now this is going to be interesting. This is a question that there are no right or wrong answers to this. But if you can just answer them honestly, and you'll get a good idea on the types of foods your body prefers, and what it metabolizes best, and we can kind of take it from there. So if you will, just kind of pull out a piece of pencil and paper, and might be informative. It might not be. It might be time to go puff one. I don't know, man. I'm going to play this. I'm going to continue this.
Number 1, for breakfast, I prefer eggs, bacon, and toast. Number 2, at a buffet lunch, I would choose mostly meats. 3, bread and cheese taste better than bread and jam. 4, I feel tired and irritable when I miss a meal. 5, I desire.
Is everybody doing okay there? Am I going too fast for you? But I know I'm going to start this up again. We're on number 5. I desire between meal snacks like cheese and nuts. Here we go.
Between meal snacks like cheese and nuts. 6, I would choose fatty cuts of meat rather than lean cuts. 7, when I find myself dragging through the day, a substantial meat dinner makes me feel much better. 8, I like to eat olives. 9, I like broiled lamb chops for dinner. 10, I eat mustard, ketchup, or steak sauce with my protein. 11, I must eat 3 meals a day. 12, I believe I get hypoglycemia. 13, liver and bacon sounds good to me. 14, I get hungry late in the evening. 15, I have 1 or more bowel movements per day. 16, I have sudden mid-morning or mid-afternoon drops in my energy level. If you answered 10 or more F or frequents, you are considered a fast oxidizer. If you answered 10 or more R or rarely, you are considered a slow oxidizer. If you answered 10 or more S or sometimes, you are considered a mid oxidizer. Once you determine your oxidation rate, you can use the chart below to pick the foods that best suit your needs of your body.
See, and this is the way we put together diets. Now if you have a slow metabolism, we're gonna pretty much get your diet to be more on the carbohydrates to give you more energy. We're going to give you a moderate amount of protein, and you're going to get some healthy fats in there. And it's the same if you have a mid-slow. We're going to lower the carbs a little bit. We're going to up the protein, and we're going to up the fats a little bit. And if you're a mid-level, then we go the same thing. If you notice, you go down the list. It's a manipulation of the micronutrients. And if you have a fast metabolism, which is I have a fast metabolism, and my diet is pretty much geared to 40% healthy carbohydrates, 30% proteins, lean proteins, and 30% good fats. So anyway, I'm going to continue rolling this, and then we'll do a little question and answer afterwards. If anybody wants to jump on here, man, Big Duke, my friend, if you want to come on here, join this with me, I appreciate that. But let's continue.
Complex carbohydrates include such foods as oatmeal, cream of rice, potato, sweet potato, yams, rice, pita and whole grain breads, whole grain pasta, whole grain pancake mix, bagels, and popcorn. Fiber carbohydrates include most vegetables, fresh or frozen only, and salads. Simple sugar carbs include fruit or juices. Protein includes egg whites, egg beaters, white fish, white chicken and turkey meat, tuna, lean red meat, protein powders, and beans. Also skim or 1% milk, yogurt, low fat, low sugar, and frozen yogurt, low fat, low sugar.
Anyway, guys, that was my friend Al Thurston, man. God rest his soul, man. Great asset to nutrition in Rhode Island on the East Coast, man. And that was pretty much a basic little thing about body types and the way we metabolize foods, because a lot of people ask me that question. What should I eat? What should I eat? Well, that's why we go over your body type, and we find out the foods that your body best assimilates. We want to get you healthy, man. That's what it's all about over here, man. This is it's a long never ending road. I mean, it starts a lot of water, man. I've said it a million times on here, man. That's I'm a big proponent of water. I drink water all the time. This is probably one of the first lives I did where I'm not smoking on here. I haven't started yet because we just haven't started yet, man. It's gonna happen. I mean, it's what I do, man. And you notice I changed the name of my site over here, man. Where Bruce goes, boxing, jazz, and more. Because obviously, we're personal fitness and training, man. That's a big thing of mine, man. I've said many times, if we're not healthy, there's really nothing we can do, man. So I try to dedicate a little bit of my show each week to keeping us healthy, getting us there or keeping us there. Hey, I want to shout out my brother Michael Johnson out there, man. Michael Johnson, Boxing, Talk, and More. And anybody out there, man, if you have a website, man, please drop your link. Or there's a little thing on YouTube now. I think you can click on the side and you can get to their sites and you can sub to them. Support the people who support us, and getting back into the nutritional aspect of it. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It was my birthday the other day. 2 days ago, my wife bought me a little cake, and dig this, man. I guess you guys know I'm a stickler for a clean diet. I've mentioned that millions of times on here. That's what I do. But anyway, man, my birthday night, we ordered Chinese food, man. Damn, it's not like I remembered it was. I haven't had Chinese food in about a year, and this stuff was fried garbage. It was grease. It was terrible, man. The shrimp were like, they dipped them in pancake batter and fried them not enough, so they were still cakey and gooey in the middle. And it was, it was a mistake I made. We like to treat ourselves every once in a while, and man, I found out that treat was far from a treat. It was a bad experience. My wife can make a better Oriental meal than this Chinese food that we ordered. And we used to do it on New Year's Eve, which is today, but it's so busy. I remember one year they said, oh, it's a 5-hour wait. There's nobody to deliver. But anyway, man, we said let's do it a day earlier. We'll do it on my birthday this year. And man, I could feel my arteries clogging up as I was eating this stuff. The boneless spare ribs. I think they gave the butcher a slab of fat, and they said, okay, make boneless spare ribs out of these. And it's just what they were. I was actually spitting the stuff up in a napkin, and it was, damn. The thing that it makes me realize is the cleaner that you keep your diet, the worse that these cheat foods actually taste. You can taste the high sodium counts in there, and you could just feel you could feel your heart rate from a boom 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 to a boom boom boom, like the truck going through mud. But anyway, man, that's over. It's my wife's birthday tonight, and we're gonna have a seafood casserole. We're gonna do it up right. Yesterday she went out and she made a little run for me. She picked me up this. She picked up this stuff called it's called shatter. It's a concentrate. It's it's pretty cool stuff. And you don't smoke it like you smoke regular weed. It's you open up, it's in this weird little packet here, and damn, it's like, and it's pretty economical too, because I was smoking it last night, got blasted on it, and it looks like this. This is shatter. It's wrapped up in a little piece of paper, and it's a derivative. I think they use butane, and they extract it. But anyway, man, this is what the weed industry is coming to, and this stuff is legal. You go buy it in the commissary. I mean, it's sold in the little bottle in here. It says Dark Star Shatter, half gram, and this stuff it's like 75% THC. It's the equivalent of I don't even think if you smoked the 20%, if you smoke four hits on the 20% stuff, which will equal 80%, it's not as strong as smoking this stuff. And you do it out of this crazy little kit that you buy. It's weird stuff. It's dabbing, I guess it's called. You light it with a butane torch. As a matter of fact, I see a little bit in there from last night. I'm going to see if it's still got any life to it. I'll put this in my mouth. You light your torch over here, and you heat this sucker up really. Even the torch is kind of fading away, because I used this thing last summer, and I pulled it out yesterday. My wife brought this little treat home for our birthdays, and this is all legal too. This is medicinal marijuana. I looked it up. I have my card. I usually put it around my neck when I do shows. But anyway, you get this thing glowing red, and then it's called dabs. Anyway, that's my first hit of the day. It's funky stuff, very funky. But for a connoisseur like myself, who treats marijuana like it's a fine wine, I like the variations. I like to smoke something different almost every day, bro. I really do. Oscar Prince, my brother, salute, man. Subscribe to Snack. All right, man. Hey, bro. Snack it's a nutritional supplement company. Maybe it's got some shady past dealings, and they all do, man. Because the thing about nutritional supplements, they're made to mimic the effects of anabolic steroids. Bro, I've been in this industry since 1995. That's when the federal government passed this DSHA Act, where it turned all nutritional supplements, which a lot of them formerly were things where you needed a prescription, or the doctor had to call the pharmacy if you needed, like if you had a burn and you wanted to put some glutamine on there, which is an amino acid which is known for its healing properties. In fact, the original use for it, they used to give it to burn patients to help them heal. But anyway, man, it's one of the supplements that was introduced to the bodybuilding world, the fitness world. And if it's gonna heal a burn victim, then think about how it's going to heal your muscles after a vigorous training session. Well, anyway, all these nutritional supplements, they all fell into that category where it was a booming industry. It's a $1 billion industry now. But back then it was you couldn't even buy whey protein. Whey protein itself, just the history of whey protein. Whey protein. You think of cottage cheese. Remember curds and whey? Well, the curds was the cottage cheese, and the whey was this liquid that they extracted from it, and they didn't know what to do with it. They actually had to use dispose of it as a biological hazard. It was carted off, where they had to pay so much for a 55-gallon drum to be carted off and disposed of. Anyway, some genius, he analyzed it, and he figured out that the protein count was off the wall. I mean, literally off the wall, where the standard for protein was the whole egg, which there's a scale called PER, it's the protein efficiency ratio, and whole egg was rated at 100, which was the highest and cleanest source of protein that you could get. And then when whey protein was found out, this scientist from the Land O'Lakes factory said, "Hey, we're throwing this shit away, and this is pure protein. There must be a use for this." and they ended up learning how to break it down, to take out the fats, the different fractions in there that weren't healthy. And they came down with the whey protein powder, which was off the wall. It was healthy. I mean, this was a revolution. This is what actually started the nutritional supplement industry. Back in the day, if you wanted protein, I mean, you guys all saw the Rocky movie, man, when they put the eggs in the glass and chug the raw eggs down. People used to do that, man. That was considered that's the way to get your protein. And back in the day, man, bodybuilders, man, that protein was the goal. We wanted to flood our systems with protein. So anyway, man, Michael Johnson, you can use that liquid to make mozzarella. Yeah. They found out a lot of things about that, man. And my buddy Mr. Pad's isolates. Yeah, that's what they did, man. They, the whey protein itself, it was it's a derivative of milk, and so it was mostly casein, and casein is a milk protein, but it still has fats in there, and it still has carbohydrates in there. So what they did was they ionized it, and which took out the things that you didn't want, and it got to be a pure form of protein, and like you said, the whey protein isolates now, they are actually rated at 150 on the PER, the protein efficiency ratio. So that blew that out of the water. Yeah, you can use the liquids to make mozzarella. The thing is, man, so salute, Teach. How you doing, brother? I try to stay away from dairy, so I don't do much dairy. I don't do hardly any dairy. And the thing about whey protein, it is a dairy product. But when they ionize it and they isolate it, they take out the dairy, they take out the lactose, which is the key to to people having intolerance with dairy products, lactose intolerance. So with whey protein, what they did was they removed that, and they got a product that is actually dairy-free whey protein. And man, I've been taking whey protein at least once a day for the past almost 30 years, man. Since its invention, since it came out, I discovered these things called meal replacement powder, and it's whey protein, and it's got carbohydrates, and it's got fats in there, and it's got vitamins. It's a meal in a little packet, and I lived on those for not lived on them. I supplemented my diet with them. I always stick with good whole foods, try to get all my nutrients out of that. But see, I was the kind of a guy who I trained real hard. I needed more calories than the average person. I was an animal in the gym, man. I'd break it down, I'd build it. I didn't believe in overtraining. I trained for years. I was in the gym 7 days a week. It was not only my income. I had many clients I was training, but I was a billboard. So I made sure I kept myself in the best possible shape I could. Whey protein, man, that was a way to get protein. No pun intended. But it was a way to get the protein that I wanted, because I was wanting to get in 300 grams of protein a day, and that's kind of hard to get chewing on chicken bones and eating steaks and stuff, and it's actually it's a lot of saturated fat, a lot of cholesterol. Whey protein, if you want to increase your protein, if you want to get your protein intake up there, man, I highly recommend a good whey protein. And Isopure was the one I used to use all the time. I still do when I can get it. As a matter of fact, I have the Isopure. I have a 8-gallon tub of it over here. This is to me, it's 100% whey protein. It contains branched chain amino acids and all that good stuff. It's got glutamine in there, which I just talked about. Gluten-free. But anyway, man, whey protein, what I do first thing in the morning, I have a little shake that my wife makes for me. God bless her soul, book. I used to do it the night before. Then I forget about it. I'd get through with my cardio, and I'd go in if it wouldn't be there. She makes it every day for me. What it is, I put about 16 ounces of water in one of my cups. I add a container of yogurt, Greek yogurt. Any good brand will do, man. I don't have a preference. We go with what's on sale and what brands that we know. Mostly Okio, I believe, is the one that I use. And it's that the yogurt, and then I put a 30-gram scoop of whey protein in there. I shake that up, and that's the first nutritional thing I put in my body every day. You know, I usually follow that a little later with a bowl of oatmeal. And anyway, man, this is this this is the health we're living. Paul Evans, my brother, salute to you, man. My Capricorn brother out there, man. We just had birthdays together, almost back to back. I see Paul Evans in a lot of sites, man. Good dude, man. Always respectful. Always gives me a shout out, man. You know, he's my brother, man. Peace to you, Paul Evans, and everybody out there, man. And like I said, if you guys have sites, I'm not on YouTube right now. I'm in StreamYard. Somebody joining me back here over here, man. I think so. What's up, brother? Is this the real deal, or is this somebody that's going to come in here and flash a dick picture? I got to get rid of you. You got 2 seconds to say hello, brother. What's up? Goodbye. Oh well. Hey, man. This is what happens. This is what happens on here, man. You get I don't know if you were coming in for something constructive, or if you just kind of if you just flashed out, but hey, man, appreciate it. Chain with Ice, man. Thanks for being here. Crush the legend, my brother. Salute to you, man. But you know, I was just doing this quickie today, man. I came on here. We did a little thing about the how different foods are better assimilated by different body types. So you know, that was just a kind of a little quick one in there. Casein protein is time release. You know that, Big Duke. You know, because you know the thing is, casein protein is a what happens with with casein protein when you ingest it, it forms as a gel in your system. And it breaks down slowly. You get a trickle of amino acids throughout the day, whereas you take in a whey protein isolate, and it's a very, very fast oxidizing protein. Your body gets it, your muscles get it immediately. So you know, Duke is right on that one, man. And what I would recommend for people out there is to get, you know, you find out the your protein needs, and you can get a blended protein. You can get a protein that contains casein and contains the the whey isolates. You know, you can put together, and also there's egg protein. I mean, there's a lot of proteins out there, man. You know, we got vegans. There's good vegan proteins. You know, that you can get your rice and beans. We talk about that a lot with Duke, man. You know, on the fourth quarter, there's a lot of vegans come there. A lot of people that go for the green protein, and it's available. It's out there, man. It's what it is. But the thing is, protein is key, because protein is the only nutrient that contains amino acids. Your body is constantly changing amino acids, constantly using them up, needs to be replenished. Protein is the only way to do it. Back in the day, after training, the bodybuilders would take these branched chain amino acid pills. They were like freaking golf balls. And they're taking these by the handful after training. And I'm looking at these guys. This is what I'm aspiring to be. And I'm like, man, there's got to be a better way. Now, like, you can get your whey protein that's loaded with branched chain amino acids. You don't have to take those horse pills anymore. Anyway, there's a lot of ways to get your protein. I like to. I'm a flesh eater, man. I like to get my protein through lean beef. I like to get it through chicken breast. I like to, you know what, kind of like what my buddy Al Thurston was talking about out there, man. Some of the things. Bruce goes, do you have to take collagen? Do you take collagen, bone or broth? No, you know, collagen protein is. You know, they're finding out that that's a very important protein now, because you know, collagen is good for your teeth, good for your skin. You know, it's good for your nails. Collagen is a very important protein, and a lot of the advanced proteins are throwing collagen in there right now. So yeah, you know, collagen is an important protein, man. A good one to have. Bruce, what's the best protein brand? I heard some of them don't have the amount of protein that it says. You know, that's a fact, man. Yeah, a lot of them don't have the amount of protein that it says, because the thing is, it's an unregulated industry. That once they pass that DSHA law, proteins could be proteins, and you can put anything on the label. So a lot of companies, they went independently testing. So it was cool because protein was you have to find a reputable company. That's why I stick with something like Isopure, Twin Labs. These companies, the retailers have had these analyzed. So if it says this is that contains 90% protein, they have to be accountable for that. So that's the way to do it, man. You find a brand that's answering to the that's been analyzed, that's going to give you the protein that you want to pay for, and that tastes good too. That's another thing. People are very turned off by bad taste. You have to find a protein that you like. You have to find a protein that's got the amount of amino acids. A lot of them add vitamins and mineral. The cheaper your protein is going to be, the quality will say it all, because cheap proteins, they sell them everywhere. You'll see it. You'll see them in Kmart. You'll see them in Walgreens. You'll see and even in GNC, they have the exclusive sections where those are the brands you want to get, and then you got the low section down the end there, and you're getting what you pay for. You're getting imported proteins that don't really have any, that don't have as much on there as they say they do, because they don't have to. It's only when somebody can actually prove that they don't have the ingredients on there, or somebody gets sick on it, that's when the FDA gets involved. So be mindful of your protein sources. Get them clean cuts of beef, clean protein sauces with fish, salmon. Awesome protein sauce, man. It's loaded with your essential fatty 3 acids, man, and your omegas. Yeah, absolutely. Look for a good protein. So you make sure you only buy your supplements online. No, man, I wouldn't say that. The thing about that is you can go to a brick and mortar store. You don't have to buy it every time you go in. You can read labels. You can do a little research. There's a lot of sites out there that do comparisons. They'll tell you a brand that's been singled out. Because I remember back in the 90s when we were the mid 90s, early 2000s. There was so much coming out in the supplement industry, and especially the protein industry. Man, there had to be 20, 30, maybe more different brands on there that were claiming their protein, muscle building. They were dimetized. There was so many different brands out there, and even a lot of people were buying tubs of it from places like Land O'Lakes and making their own brand of protein. They'd have little labs in their garages where they'd add their some glutamine to it, some creatine to it, maybe some vitamins to it, and they'd have their own proteins, and there were some good ones out there. But you have to be mindful too, man. You want to go with a lab that's been scrutinized, that's under the light, not some guy in the garage with a scale and a spoon, and who knows if he's scratching his ass every time he's grabbing that scale. So you go to one of the good labs, and you see they work in sanitary conditions. The people have the suits on, the masks, the hairnets. You go with a quality company, you're going to get a quality protein. It's that simple. And it's like that with any nutritional supplement, with the vitamins, with everything out there, with the creatines, with all the powders. You go to a dollar store, you can get these items for $1 a bottle, but you're gonna get what you pay for. You're gonna get imports that may contain little or none of the active ingredients that you're looking for. So stick with a reputable company. As far as supplements go, there's many out there. You can go online and just ask for reputable companies, and they'll tell you. Like I said, I've been using the Isopure for years, man. I like it. It doesn't give me gas. It's just a quality protein, and it's loaded with glutamine, branched chain amino acids. And the thing about those cheap proteins, they're going to give you gas. They're going to make you bloat. You're going to feel full. There's a bad feeling, when you're eating cheap proteins. And man, the farts you'll be blowing out from that protein too, man. You better have a very understanding companion, because consuming high intakes of protein is it's a serious thing. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water, because you know your kidneys are getting the impact on that. And I personally I never had a problem with kidney damage with protein. Some people have, and I've seen with dogs where people just have kennels, and these are educated trainers who are training top bred dogs for attack dogs, protection dogs. They're giving their dogs way more protein than they normally would, and the trainers told me he's had dogs who have died. They've been he's had autopsies on them, and it was kidney failure, kidney damage. So be mindful of that. If you when you up your protein, up your water. Water cleanses. Water will keep those kidneys hydrated and flushed, and that's the key when you're doing a lot of protein. Even the protein powders, you mix them with a lot of water. You mix 2 scoops with 16 ounces. Boom, you're getting a pint of water right there. And water is key. I can't stress it enough, especially if you're taking nutritional supplements, man. Go with water, a lot of water. Not fruit juices, not soda, one of the funniest things I saw was James Toney when he was training. James Toney was an animal in the gym. He took training seriously. James Toney is training with killers down in Vegas, 15-round sparring sessions. Between rounds, he's drinking Pepsi Cola. Amen. But that's James Toney. I love James Toney. James Toney's a great boxer. I would never question him, but James Toney, he always had problems with his weight. He ballooned up and down. That probably hurt him in his career. Shout out to James Toney. Shout out to every boxer out there, man. Boxing is that's the sport we love. And my site, Bruce Goes Boxing, Jazz, and More. Today's one of the mores. We're going to end it, man. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what we're going to do for ourselves for New Year. We do make resolutions. They come and they go, but make a real one, man. Make one for health. And sometimes you can't stick with it 100%, but it's like my brother Al Thurston, man. He retired down in Florida, loved horses. He was a trainer, a jockey back in the day, man. He loved horses, and when he retired, he moved to Florida. He opened a horse ranch. The last few years of his life, he was giving out trail rides, and I don't know what else he did down there. I never got down there to see him, man. But horses. I didn't even know where I was going on that, man. I think it's about time for me to get out of here. I've only done one hit on the dab machine there, whatever we're going to call it. I think I need a few hits on my Toka 2 over here. But anyway, man, Bruce Goes. I want to thank everybody that came in here. My brother KQKC, man. Hey, bro, thanks for coming in here, man. Such a pleasure to see you. I'm going to be bopping over to your show in a little bit, man. So thank you, brother. Thank you for coming in here, man. KQKC, if anybody's not subbed to the Singing OG, man, you make sure you sub to him. If you don't sub to the fucking OG, you don't sub to me, man. Because the OG, he keeps it real, bro. Boxing is where it's at. Boxing is my #1 sport. I like to break it up into different things over here, OG. Today I'm doing a little thing I'm doing some nutrition. I was talking about how the body oxidizes different foods we put in here. I'm just about ready to cut it out over here, man. Get back into some boxing. But my brother KQKC, with the water, man. I'm always telling you about that water. I drink it myself all the time, brother. Let's see. It's 1 o'clock over here. This is number 3 today. So this is let's see, 16, 32. 40. That's about my 48 ounce of water I'm going on. I usually do a gallon a day. But anyway, man, Bruce Goes over here. Nothing but mad love for everybody out there, man. I appreciate you coming out here. I'm going to start doing stuff on my lives over here. I'm going to be talking about boxing, which I love, man. I'm an old boxing nut. I'm please don't call me an OG because I'm just a relic who loves boxing, man. I've been watching boxing since the late 1960s, man, and I've never put it down. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about boxing on here, the past, present, and the future. I'm going to be talking about professional wrestling once in a while because I love chopping up wrestling, man. I've been watching that since I was playing in mud puddles, for Christ's sakes, man. And I never stopped either. I've actually, lately, past couple of years, I've been slack on my professional wrestling, but I love it. I've trained with professional wrestlers. I've trained professional wrestlers. They're monsters. Don't say they're not athletes, man. You let me give you a body slam on something that feels like a sweater stretched over plywood, and you tell me that doesn't hurt, and you get that 5 nights a week, 365 a year. Anyway, brother, shout out to the wrestlers. We're going to be talking about that. I love music. I love jazz, man. I love rhythm and blues. I love all kind of music, but jazz is where my heart is. I'm going to be talking about jazz, doing a lot of shows about jazz, man. So some of the greatest times of my life, man. Jazz concerts, jazz clubs. We're going to be going over that, man. And also, man, health and nutrition. That's what I'm here for today. Keep us healthy, because if we're not healthy, nothing means fucking shit, bro. If you're laid up in the bed, and now with what's going around, keep yourself healthy, keep yourself fortified, get your vitamins in you every day, eat healthy, a lot of water, get exercise, move, lift something, get those muscles stretching out, bro. I don't care how old you are, man. You got to do resistance training. You need to do cardio training. That's a good brisk walk. If you can get on a bicycle, if you can jog, bro, do that. If you can get yourself in a half hour every day of something to get that heart stimulated, because that's what it's all about. We want to keep healthy. We want to keep you here, and that I'm very big on. I'm going to do a lot of shows on that to keep us around here. And also my favorite passion, bro. My favorite passion is the weed. It comes in all kind of different variations. My wife bought me for my birthday. She bought me the gummies. I had a great day, man. I've got that concentrate that she bought me yesterday. Actually, it's for her birthday, but she knows that I'm the one who's loving it. And of course we've got the flour. The flour that's my favorite, man, on that Toka too. And usually I'm doing those here when I'm doing a show with all you characters, man. Anyway, man, Bruce goes over here. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming in here, man. My wife's birthday today. Wish her a happy birthday. Everybody that stopped in, man. I hope I gave you a shout out. Silver Surfer, bro. I don't think I caught you. Pigeon Mike Tyson, bro. You come in here too, bro. And as long as you behave yourself in here, because that's what it's all about, man. This is what the world we live in, man. If we can't have different opinions, I don't want no circle jerk. I don't want everybody talking the same opinions in here, bro. This is, boxing is my world, man. Boxing, if everybody's rooting for the same guy, then I'm gonna look for another sport, man. One of the greatest fights that I witnessed, man, was the Sugar Ray Leonard Thomas Hearns fight. I didn't go there. I watched it on closed circuit at a friend of mine's house, pay-per-view, back in the day where we had to pay for pay-per-view. But there were different opinions. Some guys were backing Hearns, some guys were backing Leonard. I thought Tommy Hearns was going to take his head off, because he was, man, what he did with Pino Cuevas was just incredible. Sugar Ray Leonard, the darling, man. Sugar Ray Leonard, a great fighter. I was at ringside when he fought Floyd Mayweather Sr. at the Providence Civic Center, right behind Howard Cosell, man. But anyway, bro, I love boxing. And boxing is a sport where we can have diversified opinions. That's what makes it beautiful. I don't care if you're for Tyson Fury. I don't care if you're for Deontay Wilder. I don't care if even Marvin Hagler, the greatest middleweight of my time. I went to Provincetown. I watched Marvin Hagler train, bro. I went to his training camp. I saw him spar with Buster Drayton. I saw him spar with James Hard Rock Green. This is sparring. This isn't real fighting. And I've seen Marvin Hagler in the ring too. But anyway, you don't like Marvin Hagler. That's okay, bro. Everybody has opinions. Some people are telling me Triple G would have beat Hagler. I mean, bro, I'm not going to block you. I'm not. This is boxing. We all have different opinions. We all have different loves, and it's the same with everything in life, man. Jazz. People used to think I was nuts listening to the jazz I did. This is when my bros listen to hard rock. Wow. They're driving around listening to Black Sabbath. They're listening to oh shit, man. I can't even. There was just such loud stuff. AC/DC. I'm listening to Miles Davis and John Coltrane. And they think I'm going fucking wacky because, I don't know, man. It's just a brain that I have. I guess I talk loud. I listen fast. I speak fast. I don't talk loud. I try to keep it down. I don't like loud talkers, man. Anything over your average, man. We don't have to yell to be heard. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, man, this is Bruce Goes, man. It's been great to chop it up here with you. Thank you for coming in. Make sure you sub and you like. That's all I ask of you. Maybe drop a little comment below. And all's good, all's well over here, man. Nothing but mad love and peace, man. Salute.